Hello. Welcome to the House of Alexander, your emporium of the unusual, the eccentric, and of course, the occult. I am Mr. Alexander, and it is my great pleasure to meet your acquaintance this evening. How may I be of service to you? Ah, I see. A sort of last resort, then. Wonderful. Well, I am quite certain that we'll be able to help you. If you don't mind my asking, what specifically are you in need of this fine evening? A bit of a starving artist. Pardon me. Starving writer. Okay. I see. A lack of inspiration. Yes. I see. I believe I've a number of things which may be useful to you. Items of great power, some of them imbued with incredible properties, ranging from trinkets to very, very powerful artifacts. Let's start off at one end of the scale and work our way, perhaps, to the other, if you don't mind. Wonderful. First, the aptly named 7 Leagues Scope. This miniature handheld spyglass is about 120 years old and has been gifted with the magical property of being able to see 7 leagues in any direction. All you have to do, open it as such, look down the spyglass, and you will see whatever is 7 leagues away in that direction. What's particularly remarkable about this spyglass is that it's not just a simple magnification trick, spell, illusion, whatever you want to call it, but an actual portal, if you will, to allow the user to see whatever is 7 leagues away. For instance, say you're on one side of a mountain, and the mountain is 7 leagues across. So you're here, and what you want to see, perhaps a forest, is on the other side. Ordinarily, if you were to point a rather unremarkable and typical spyglass at the mountain, you would see a magnified image of the mountain. You wouldn't be able to see anything beyond the mountain, even if it were within range of the typical spyglass. For this, if you were to point the 7 league scope at the mountain, you would be able to see the forest on the other side. You've essentially hopped right over the mountain. Yes, it doesn't matter the obstacle, and it certainly doesn't matter the direction. The 7 league scope is perfect for the initiate to begin to learn the properties and powers of various artifacts. Additionally, I believe it could be an excellent source of inspiration for you. Picture it, being able to see and know the lives of the town people or the goings-on of the neighborhood squirrel 7 leagues away without ever having to leave the safety and comfort of your front porch. How about the 7 league scope? What do you say to that? Not quite. Not quite. That's all right. I appreciate that that's more of a trinket. Something, fascinating parlor trick, but perhaps not what you intend, as it offers really no enhancements. how about some nice textual inspiration? This isn't exactly an artifact, per se, imbued with any particular powers, but it is certainly a text of great importance and great secrecy. This is the Bible of the Freemasons. This dates back about 40 to 50 years, and has a few additional chapters that you might not recognize from your typical religious text. It also offers an insight into the ritual and proceedings of the Freemasons, at least in the area from which it was sourced, which is, if I'm reading this correctly, apparently a place called Newcastle, Pennsylvania. That's nice. I've never been there, but I'm sure that it's a very nice place this time of year. This, of course, is very closely guarded and well-protected information, so though it might not offer you any enhancements to your abilities, it will certainly offer some inspiration. What do you say? No, don't apologize at all. I adore a challenge. What do you write, if you don't mind my asking? Some poetry. Okay. Do you ever venture into, perhaps, the macabre or disturbing with your works? Wonderful. I believe I have just the product for you. This is a necromancer's bell. You might not recognize the term or the instrument. Bells, of course, are very common, but not one associated with a necromancer. Necromancers don't typically use bells these days, practitioners of those arts, but they did many thousands of years ago. In fact, this bell is just about 4,000 years old, give or take. Yes. You see, the necromancers of old, the ancient practitioners, would use 7 of these bells strapped across their chest in almost a bandolier, if you will. And the bells each had different purposes and different abilities, ranging from the very small bells, which were used for very small rituals or enchantments, all the way up to very large bells, which were quite powerful. This is a medium-sized bell, either 3 or 4 on the chain. The entire bandolier was not recovered, you see. And it can be used for quite powerful enchantments and necromancer activities, but for the uninitiated and unpracticed, it can only be used to raise the very small creatures. Your rabbits, household pets, for example, and certainly modest creatures, and only temporarily. That being said, still very powerful. And if you become familiar with it, you can use it on larger animals, not people, however, certainly not powerful enough to raise or enchant a human, and certainly not powerful to have any impact on beings outside of our mortal coil. So I wouldn't try any of that nonsense. This was recovered in ancient Egypt, if you will believe it, in the tomb of Queen Nefertiti, amongst the bones and mummies of what we assume to be her royal sorcerers. So quite a lot of history wrapped up in this. As I said, though, the entire bandolier was not discovered, only this bell. So the rest of the set may yet be out there for you to discover. I have a feeling that if you were to choose the necromancer bell, it would really give you an insight, some inspiration for your more macabre works, some of the more unsettling pieces that you would do. Yes, I think that would work quite well for you, actually. What do you say? Perhaps I've misunderstood you then. Yes. I don't know that you're looking for inspiration at all. I believe that you, my friend, are looking for an advantage. Yes. A magical enhancement. Yes. Okay. I may have just the thing for you. Have you ever heard the old wives' tale? The rumor, the superstition, that being photographed would somehow, some way, steal a portion of your soul. Yes. Well, I assure you, most of the time, getting your photograph taken is perfectly safe. No harmful side effects whatsoever. But this camera, and we believe only this camera, does indeed have the ability to snatch a portion, just a small fraction, of a person's life essence and contain it in the film until it's produced onto paper as a photograph. The fraction of the soul will then be preserved in and amongst the ink and paper for as long as you like. It's truly a remarkable instrument. Of course, having a bunch of fractions of souls around is probably not exactly what you envision when you say enhancements, but you see, the human soul, and indeed all souls, are filled with energy. In fact, we are mostly energy as beings. And that energy can be transferred, and it can be used to enhance your own energy. If, using the proper rituals and rites, you were to, say, transfer the energy from a photograph or from film, using this camera, to yourself, you would experience temporarily increased vigor, vitality, and, if the ritual is performed correctly, it can even be used to, say, enhance certain abilities or talents, perhaps even those of a failing poet. Yes. I feel the need to warn you, however, that this is not an instrument to be taken lightly. You are literally stealing a portion of a person or animal, if you were to photograph an animal, their soul, their very life essence, their being. And while you may be able to derive temporary benefit, they will most certainly feel permanent ill effects. You have, in essence, stolen a part of them. They may not be as successful as they could have been. They may not live as full life as they could have. Or, in extreme cases, if you were to continue to photograph the same person again and again, they may even die prematurely and have their very soul be permanently damaged. There's a common saying, magic always comes with a price. This comes with a great price. No matter the ethical or moral implications, you have undoubtedly made someone's life worse so that you yourself could live better. Listen, I think you seem to be a good person, just a tad bit desperate right now. I would feel guilty, perhaps, giving you this tool and telling you that you should use it, corrupting yourself. No, I don't think I could do it, in fact. I won't sell this to you, but I won't sell it to you, not because I believe that yours is a situation that can be cured without the use of this, but because I simply don't want to see you suffer in the same way that I've seen others suffer. Do you understand? Well, I suppose that brings us right back to square one. I'm afraid I don't have too many other artifacts to offer you. None that at least would be of interest to yourself. I have a chess set. More of a parlor trick, really. You only need one person to play, and the game will sort the rest out. Tarot, stones, crystals. None of this is really relevant to you. Let's see. This mask can be used to assume another's identity for a period of 1 hour and 5 minutes. I have no idea why it's so particular, but that's the enchantment. For 1 hour and 5 minutes, you could be someone, anyone, other than yourself. No, I didn't think so. But I'm a salesman, and, well, I have to at least try, don't I? Truly, I do not know. Oh, I don't think you want that. No, this is just an old grimoire. Dusty, musty, very little used to, I imagine. Sure, I mean, contains what we would typically associate with a grimoire. Spells, incantations, curses, hexes, the whole shebang. But I haven't used this for decades. It hasn't been used for decades, and well, I'm sure it's quite outdated by now. And besides, I mean, complicated. Certainly more complicated than using the 7 leagues scope or any of the instruments which I've shown you. Grimoires are finicky, particular, and highly unpredictable. No, I wouldn't recommend this for anyone, except perhaps the most advanced user. Are you absolutely certain? I have other items I can show you. Perhaps other items which can offer you inspiration, even. No. You're fairly well set on this. Okay. You know what? I'll give it to you. I will. No charge, no fee. I'll give it to you. But, a fair bit of warning. If it's too good to be true, or if it seems too good to be true, it most definitely is, and, that applies in many aspects of life, but especially for using old grimoires and tomes. Also, read the footnotes, and, well, I guess that's just about it. Make sure that you use every ingredient, and follow the instructions exactly. We don't need any disasters, you understand, of course. Yes. And, well, good luck, I suppose. Will that be everything for you tonight? Of course. Wonderful. In that case, thank you very, very much for stopping by the house of Alexander, and I hope that you find great success with your newfound grimoire. Excellent. All right, I hope to see you again soon then. And good luck. You'll need it.